Yay!
Welcome back to the Professional Fan Podcast, your home for all things fan lifestyle. This week, we are talking about media literacy and fan common sense, so let's get moving. So our first point is how to tell if a music announcement is real or AI. So this has been one that I've actually seen a lot of recently. A lot of fans have been reposting different Instagram accounts that they assume is the artist announcing a new music project, and oftentimes it either is completely AI or it is not them, but it is a new music project. There have been a lot of people who get excited about new songs coming out and they're like, oh, why hasn't the artist talked about this? There's just randomly a new song on YouTube. And it's because it's a AI replicate of their YouTube page. It's not actually them. Mm-hmm. So how do we figure out whether it's them or not? I think the first one would be look at their main pages. Are they actually promoting it themselves? When it comes to promotion, if the actual artist, band, whatever, is not promoting it themselves, it is probably not them or their team. I've seen a lot of instances of this. I have seen fake promotions. I have seen fans reposting AI music. There was one that was actually sent to us at the Groovy Moo, and we were asked why we hadn't promoted it, and it was supposed to be a brand new collab between Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran. Now, they have collabed, I think, twice before, so it seems likely that they would again, but it was not actually them. It was completely AI, which should have been fairly obvious because it was on some YouTube account that was just a random bunch of numbers and letters as the username. But if you don't know where to look, especially with quite young fans, I can understand how in your head you're just excited that one of your favourite artists is involved in this thing.
Yeah, I think AI, I'm so heavily against generative AI. I believe that other forms of AI can be really helpful and really positive, but generative AI, I think, is already was a big problem a few years ago. It was only 4 years ago that I was at university and we had only just started the conversation of ooh, where could generative AI lead the music industry? And it's only been 3 or 4 years since that conversation where it has become, unfortunately, a massive part of the music industry. And it is as simple as just check. It reminds me of the old emails that I would get as a kid that were like, I'm the Prince of Arabia and I'm reaching out to you personally because I want to give you all of this money. Please enter your bank details here. Or the chain mail that was like, oh, if you don't forward this to 50 people, someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
Silly, scammy little dodgy things like that. That's what generative AI is starting to remind me of because it's, to me anyway, it's so obviously fake. And it pains me when people fall for it because I'm like, really?
Yes, there's the AI thing feels exactly like that, but same with, and I mean this with so much respect because I understand that young fans get excited, they want it to be the case, but your favorite artist is not going to reach out to you on email, in private messages, they're not going to add you on Discord. If that's happening, it's not them. It could be someone from their team who shouldn't have that many titles, but it's not them. If anything, that was... how do I say this? If an artist was trying to reach out to you or their team, because I know that it's happened, there's been Taylor Swift's team so that you can attend different things. There have been artists who are like, hey, I really want you to be a part of this press thing, and they've seen you on Instagram or something, if you work in the industry, they will reach out to you either on an account that is already very clearly them because it's their main account, if it is the artist, or if it's their team, it'll again be something incredibly official, incredibly obvious. There are instances where people do dodgy things, but that's your first warning sign is it shouldn't be coming from anything that isn't already very publicly known that it is them.
It's for me it as well, it ties into the age-old conversation of internet safety, which we are all taught at a very young age, especially our generation being kind of like the first generation that was very technology heavy. Yes, we still had our like childhoods that was, but we got phones at young ages. We were introduced to iPads and whiteboards and all these digital things around us at a very young age. And there was conversations left, right, and center about internet safety. And I just think, in a way, there's no harm in talking to strangers on the internet because that's what we all do, essentially, because that's how fandom culture is. But when it comes to like messaging someone, fine. If they're asking for personal details and you don't know who this person is, why are you giving up your personal details? Even if they say, I am this person, there's no proof of that. There's nothing. Even if they sit there and they send you a cropped photo or a video of some kind, that's not proof that that's them. And I think it's silly when you're sending them your full legal names and your addresses and your family names and where you went to school and all of these they're such cliche things that is drilled into you from such a young age of don't share your address, don't share your bank details, don't share your location because it's a surefire way of like, at least for me, I was always told it was a surefire way to getting kidnapped or murdered. So like
Yeah.
whoa, I'm not sending those details to people. Unless, like, there are some people that I have shared my name and address with because we're in conversation with stuff like that. Like, recently I sent out a lot of gift bags to a lot of people.
Which are pretty cool.
But for me, my face is on the account a lot. I have got videos, I've got voice notes, I've got selfies, there's so many things on my account that prove that I am me. Not that there's any reason for me to try and catfish anyone because I'm a nobody, but just look through the people's accounts. There
Yeah.
is so much on my account that points to me being me. And I do use my real name on my account because I just I don't have the energy to lie. So I have asked a lot of people for their addresses to send off these gift bags, but as soon as I'm done with that interaction, I delete their message so I don't even keep their address. And then sometimes I'll send one person two things weeks apart and I'll reach out to them and go, hey, I need your address. And they're like, you already have it. And I'm like, nope, I deleted that message that had it in, so I need it again. Sorry. The same with I've given my address to someone because when I sent them the Order Chaos Order gift bag, they in return said, "Oh my God, please let me make you a personalized ring." So they are sending me a personalized ring, which I'm so excited to get. But it's just it really is such a cliche of internet safety. Please just
Yes.
it just upsets it genuinely upsets me because a part of me like genuinely feels so sorry for these people because it must hurt, it must suck to be in that scenario where you are believing that this person is this person. Generally speaking, if you are over the age of 18, there are a lot of things that you already know about internet safety, and there are a lot of things you should be putting in place to keep yourself safe on the internet. Sending your name and address and bank details to a random account is not any of those things.
I just also think in some situations we've seen recently, there's there's internet and media literacy on both sides. Um, and again, I would never want to call anyone stupid, but yeah, don't give your personal details away. But also, there's an element of, come on, if you're a professional in the industry, you shouldn't be doing that. You know, there's an element of like on both sides, number one, why are you cropping photos and trying to convince young people that it's their favorite artist? But then there's also like, why are you taking cropped photos? Which, if you just did a quick reverse image search, I guarantee you can find. Because I took one look at one of the cropped photos and went, this day, this setting, that exact photo dump. Now, I understand that I have a very photographic memory, and not everyone's going to immediately go, this was then. But I did. And the fact that I could do that so instantly, fact check, research. I'm actually now in an in a frame of mind with everything where, because you just cannot believe what's on the internet, if it isn't a situation where someone's trying to like say that they're one person and they're not, but if it's a situation of like, what is the likelihood that this is real, I'm going to the library first. I am turning off AI wherever I can and just trying to search without AI even popping up. Which, by the way, Google, if you could figure out how to make a browser that blocks AI, please.
Oh
Like,
my God.
I would, if you can pay to remove ads on YouTube, surely there is some world where you can pay to remove AI on Google, because
The thing is, like this AI overview thing that's happening on Google, it's only like started this year. We were using Google for years before that completely fine. Why do we have this addition of AI overview? Shut up.
yeah, exactly. For a while there, I would use different browsers because I know when Google first rolled it out, I was still using Opera, and Opera seemed to block that because it must have been in Google's actual browser settings. But now I think like Opera uses Google. I don't fully know how to explain
Mhm.
it, but now it doesn't matter what browser I use, it's there. And it's so frustrating as well because I can't, because you used to be able to, especially because I in New Zealand schools we had the crap course. It was CRAPP, and it was like checking internet stuff. And you used to be able to just search something up, and you'd have like the traffic light of text next to your websites. And has anyone noticed that since the AI overviews there, you no longer have the green, the orange, the yellow, the red text telling you if something's credible or not? And you also can't, it's so hard to run the crap test. Oh my goodness. Happy Tuesday morning. I'm talking about crap on the internet. It's so hard to run the crap test because when it's AI, it doesn't show its sources. It doesn't show how recent the information is. It's just, here's an answer, take it or leave it. So that kind of ties into the next point as well. Verifying information
Mhm.
before we repost it. And I'm going to stick my hand up and say, I have been in situations where I have had to recall posts, interviews because of fake information. We live in a day and age where someone can present to you all of this correct information. You can have websites and portfolios, and it can seem like they really are the concert photographer they say they are. But were they really actually standing in the photographer's pitch? Or were they actually standing a few rows back from barricade and AI cropped it in to make it look like their professional photos? Did they really take those photos at the concert, or did they decide to photograph a TV screen and pass them off
Mhm.
as actual photos? Because yes, I have had to recall an entire interview because someone lied before. So just research. You can't fully avoid these situations, unfortunately, in this day and age, but just look into everything. Reach out to other people who might have worked with them, especially if they say that they worked with someone. Just look into that. The danger we run in today's day and age with the media is everyone just blindly accepting everything as fact and just sharing it, and it snowballs because we already can't prove what's true and what's false. If we just keep assuming that everything is true, it's just going to end up in confusion and a struggle to communicate with each other and consistent arguments. I mean, that's why I deleted Twitter, because it's just not worth. It's just not worth the struggle, to be honest.
I could rant about AI for hours, hours and hours and hours. And I just think when it comes to internet safety, AI is playing a massive part of making it all very unsafe because of how, just because of how it is. And it's not only making it unsafe for people on the internet, it is making it unsafe for people in real life because of the resources it uses up and whatnot. That's a whole other, that's like a very political angle at looking at it. But a lot, a lot of it is just like critical thinking. Put yourself first. And the thing is, I always go back to just enjoying yourself. Do what you love. Talk to the people that you know are real. Make friends. Have these fun little interactions, post your stuff, but also focus on your job, focus on your life, focus on your hobbies, focus on self-care. As to like keep yourself grounded and to not get like whisked away in the internet because you can very, very quickly fall down some very deep, dark rabbit holes that just kind of get you tied up in unnecessary drama, unnecessary um scenarios in general. Like it can make you a really spiteful, nasty person being on the internet 24/7 because we're not meant to be.
The next one is quite a big one, which unfortunately I see people fall for debate every single time. Media headlines. Media in general, and I want to say not everyone, because there are especially fan led media outlets are trying to fight back against this, but a lot of traditional media is made to stir the pot.
Mhm.
Especially celebrity gossip. It's a category
Mhm.
I wish didn't exist, but it does. So we kind of need to learn where to draw the line on this, because as fans, you want to be part of the dialogue about your favorite person. I get it. I've seen it multiple times, but we can't just immediately assume that everything is real. We can't be trying to force people's hands. So, for example, and I will say this again until the DMs stop, as we've discussed in the series that we've just finished, it takes a lot of time to prepare an interview. Um, there might be situations, for example, I saw a lot of people who were upset at Five Stars interacting with certain people in the Mr. Beast video. That wasn't up to them who else was going to be on set. And if they were just turning their backs to other people, that would have been really rude. You know, you have to you have to be respectful to other people on sets. You have to understand that interviews can't just automatically happen. Um, but you also can't take headlines as fact because, I mean, we've heard the term clickbait. People are trying to get you to engage with their content. And what I see time and time again is people reposting the tagline, reposting the headline, turning that into a think piece when if you actually read the article, it might be a question, it might be a topic to debate, it might be something that relates to something else. For example, Five Stars are breaking up was actually just a promo technique. They didn't break up, but you still see dialogue around it. We've actually discussed this as well in my media course. Is there's basically a line where people stop paying attention, and I think if you are going to be this chronically online, you need to take in all of it. You can't just stop at a certain line because then you're missing where it's like, this is satire or this is the truth. You can't just take, like, fans also do it. I have seen a lot of times where fans make edits, and for example, Luke just yawned at one point, but it happened to be the point where Ashton's talking, so Luke's actually really bored by Ashton. Unfortunately, to go there, there's a lot of times where people edit videos of Harry Styles and Louis Tomlinson and, oh, they must be so in love. But it's because you've clipped it out of context. So I guess I'm just saying, go to the original source. Ugh.
I do think as well, off of kind of like a similar conversation, but a slightly different tangent. Um, when it comes to like fan critical thinking and like that kind of umbrella, when when you're at a concert, yes, you're having fun. Yes, occasionally like an artist will make eye contact with you or toss you a pic or something. Um, but
No,
when when you're filming, hold on.
I know
When
where this is
you're
going.
when you're like this and you've made a video, and let's say I'm looking at Callum Hood on my screen right now. Oh, yay. So I'm going to use him as an example. And he's looking at you. And I say that in quotes because very rarely do they actually, especially when you're 7 rows back and you're going, oh my God, what are we? One, a lot of people dissociate on stage. They just look out generally, right? They just look out generally, or they just no one's there. Um, the occasional eye contact will happen. I'm not disregarding that at all. That does happen, and that's fine. But when you're claiming that like they keep looking at you and just you in your section because you stand out so much, that's delusional. I'm sorry, that's delusional. That's borderline insane. Because I'm sorry, that just it's just not like I'm all for delusion to an extent. I think it's really funny to like have a little joke and to be over dramatic with things sometimes. Like I like to sit online and say that five souls are my best friends. No, they're not. No, they're not. Um, but I just keep seeing TikToks after TikToks after TikToks of a split second of eye contact. And then also a lot of the time it's not even eye contact. It's they're looking over you. Like you can tell when it's eye contact because you just know, everyone knows what eye contact is. But you can also tell when they're kind of looking off to the side or slightly above the camera.
Yeah.
Some of the time I see a lot of videos and I'm like, that's not even that's not even near you.
Yeah, but I agree with that. I have seen that multiple times where people are like, he held eye contact with me. Like he gave me a pic because he loves me. Um no. No. The other thing to bring AI back into it. Um I hate that I'm saying this. Can people I want to gag just thinking about it. Um I'm gonna struggle with this. Screenshotting and outing yourself for character AI checks, claiming that he is actually your boyfriend? No. Stop it. What are you doing?
Also, those those edits people make where they're like sat at a table and you've got like all of these
Mm-mm.
celebrities around you, like comforting you, and they're like, "Oh my God, I wish this was real." And it's like, why have you made that? Why? Why have you? What are you doing?
No. No. Oh my goodness. I'm going to the Auckland show and I'm scared to even look at them. I've said to mum, I was like, just I hope you know that I might just like close my eyes and enjoy the music. Like I don't to tie into what we just mentioned, not every fan interaction has a hidden meaning behind it.
Mhm.
Um, sometimes it does. Sometimes, if you buy a Waterparks album and get a personal message, my goodness, are those personal? Like Austin Knight, chill out. But I guarantee you that if you go to a meet and greet, the artist is not. The artist has a handful of things that they say to every fan. Yes, they're trying to make you feel seen, and I'm sorry to shatter this illusion, but they are not. They're not going to randomly follow you on Instagram and be your best friend after that. Like it's. I I don't know. I'm getting so wound
I
up.
mean, some people, some people do have funny little interactions that are a bit more personal because you get to know the artist on a certain level, and they get to know you and whatever, but it takes a very, very long time to get to that point and to be like a reliable fan in that regard. But generally speaking, yeah, they've got essentially a script. Obviously not like actually a script, but there's safe things that you can say to basically everyone. And if a lot of people are going to be coming to them and crying and being like, "Oh my God, I love you," and your music's fantastic, and all of these like lovely things. And the kind of script goes is, "Oh my God, thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you for being here. Do you want a picture? Do you want a hug?" Like it's very, very samey across the board. Everyone's going to get a very similar interaction.
Yes. And we need to also respect, because this has also just crossed my mind, we also need to respect an artist, can we not? I have seen
Mhm.
a lot of dialogue of like, oh, Harry's really a brat this era. No, no, can we not is actually completely valid. If you had a camera in your face all the time, if you had people constantly around you and you felt like you were being chased down, I guarantee you'd probably say worse than a can we not.
Yeah.
I've said worse than a can we not.
Also, wasn't it the other day when he was in Prague, maybe, where someone literally approached him like this with the camera, and he went, "Hi, by the way."
Yeah, that
Damn.
says everything you need to know. Like, that's a human. That is a
Hmm.
human. I mean, and the other thing is like the artists are not being rude to you. I saw a clip of someone asked Ashton for a tattoo. He didn't like what was written down that they were asking for. And he's like, I'm not writing that down because I don't want that in my handwriting on your body.
Hmm.
Completely valid because it's not great. I can't, I didn't see what the person was asking, but there's still an element of like, these people have boundaries. You can't just randomly cross them because you feel like it. Big one. Big one. Being disappointed does not validate harassment. Louder for the people in the back. Being disappointed does not validate harassment.
Hmm.
If you didn't like the album, that's fine. You can still listen to the earlier stuff. If you don't like
Hmm.
a promo thing, if you're upset, last night, I don't even know if I want to out myself as being on that live stream actually. Yeah, so last night I was on a live stream for an artist that I support. I was on a live stream for someone who is part of a band, but the band was on a break, and so they were personally doing a little live stream themselves. Just random spur of the moment thing. There was somebody very clearly harassing said person, being like, why are you not coming to this exact town? Why are you not coming to this exact town? And it was like every second message. The reaction that you got, the bite that you got, was fair enough because you were absolutely harassing the artist.
Hmm.
I do think it's unfortunate that said artist then took it further and instead of just like blocking said person or being like, hey, stop it to that person, they then became incredibly short with other fans and other workmates, other bandmates. It just became a let's swear at everyone and tell everyone what I think of them moment. But also, the artist was pushed to that point. Um, Boundaries exist, and when people are telling you stop, you need to stop.
Off the back of that, I also want to tie this into kind of like a concert etiquette thing as well.
Yeah,
Because I think we spoke about it in our concert etiquette video anyway, but if you're like passing out at a show or something, or something happens before the main act is on or very early into the show, it's not fair to then go to social media and tag the artist and every team associated with the artist and go, "I need free tickets." Like, what are you going to do about this? What do you mean, what are they going to do about this? You passed out. That's not their fault. That's not the team's responsibility. Like, that's you need to take care of yourself. You need to drink your water and eat your food and get enough rest and whatever. You need to take care of yourself. If something happens where you miss the show, yes, that sucks. Yes, that's a shame. but it's in very few cases where the team or the artist will be able to do anything for you,
Yeah.
especially if it's just something as little as just a fully able-bodied, healthy person just passing out.
Yeah.
It can differ every now and again when disabilities come into it, and certain circumstances are there, but generally speaking, if something bad happens at a show and you're kicked out or you leave or whatever, you then don't have the right to harass them and their team online and go, "What are you going to do about this? You need to fix this. I need free tickets. Why?"
Yeah. And also in terms of concerts, cancellations. That's one I've seen recently. Noah Khan had to cancel a show fairly last minute because of a major weather event, I believe. Um, but what the very next show he played, when he addressed the situation, he was almost in tears because there were hate messages
Mhm.
sent. And the very next show hadn't sold out, and everyone's like, he's not reliable, he didn't even show up. There's a weather event, you know, be my guest, show up, put yourself in danger then. But these
Mhm.
decisions are made with an entire team behind them trying to keep everyone safe. It is not fair to then just go and harass said artist and be like, you're a horrible person for cancelling so last minute. Because what would you say if the show went ahead and someone did get injured? You're a horrible person. You knew the risks. You did it anyway. Why?
Mhm.
Why are we at a stage where no one can win?
Also on cancellations, you as a fan, you have to understand the position you put yourself in when you choose to travel to a show. When you pay for your accommodation, you pay for your ticket, and you pay for your travel, that's entirely on you as a fan. I do it. I travel to different cities, I travel to different countries for shows. It is not, I can't then go online if a show gets cancelled that I have traveled to and I've paid for a hotel for. I can't then ask the artist to like reimburse me. Them cancelling the show for whatever reason they have, that was still my decision to travel and get accommodation for that show that's so much further away.
Yeah, and also like now that you're there, surely you had other things planned. Because I don't know about you, but like you know, gosh, I hope it doesn't happen. But if it did, if Five Sauce was cancelled and I was in Auckland, there are still other things I'd do. I'd be like, right, well, that sucks, but we're here for the weekend, so let's go see some landmarks. Let's go, like, there's a huge record store. Let's go shopping. But, but also, you will either get a refund or the ability to go to another show. That's how this works. Like, they're not just going to be like, oh, thanks for the money, bye. They have entire legal teams around, like, if this happens, how do we make sure that we're not being absolute periods? I don't know. They're not going to screw you over. Anyway, then they're just not going to screw you over. They have teams making sure that they cannot.
Yeah, almost always a cancellation comes with a reschedule.